Hi, everybody. It is Wendy Williams coming to you with a live message regarding mother daughter relationship troubles. So, again, I am Wendy Williams. I go by Wendy Wisdom online. I'm a relationship coach who equips people with the tools to have a transformational relationship with themselves and others. Okay, so let me jump right in. And so, this topic was inspired by my own story about having a troubled relationship dynamic with my mother. I've done a lot of work, and I've pulled her in on my attempts to resolve things, and I had an awakening. Like in 2014, no, I think it was end of 2013. I had an awakening as we were trying to receive counsel from her pastor, and I just realized you're trying to change somebody who had you. You can't change her. She is clear and set in her ways. You have to discover what it is that you need, provide it for yourself and through Christ, because you're not going to get it from your mother. Okay? So I've been on this journey throughout the years. I talked to so many people. They all got some kind of mommy challenge, even as adults. I'm speaking about adults. And so let me jump right in. And also, this was also inspired by a clip that I saw on the Real Housewives of Potomac with Candace and her mother, Dorothy. They were in a counseling session, and Miss Dorothy was not trying to hear anything. Candace was pouring her heart out, crying, emotional. And she was like, "Oh, Candace, I don't want to hear what you have to say, blah blah blah." And I was just like, oh my god, I had that similar experience. And so it just motivated me to do a quick discussion. Okay, so for the mother relationship dynamics to be troubled, okay, it looks like something, right? And so I'm going to talk about the negative, the positive, and how it impacts us. And then I'll finish with 3 ways to kind of take your power back, get what you want out of the troubled relationship to kind of improve it, okay? All right. So, to have a very loving and positive mother daughter relationship dynamic, it will be full of love. The mother will be very nurturing, the bonding will be clear and secured. The mother will be emotionally available, meeting her daughter's emotional needs. This can apply to the son also as far as the positives, but I'm focused on daughters tonight. And so also that daughter will have a great sense of self. She will understand her role as a female and as a woman because she's seen it modeled. She has a mom who's talked to her, who's esteemed her, who's been nurturing, nourishing, kind, affectionate, and appropriate, and who has esteemed her and validated her. And so those are the things that are needed, to name a few, to have a secure attachment. And so that young woman will grow up to have very positive relationships, very fulfilling relationships, and friendships, and she'll have a great sense of self, okay? And so the other side of the mother-daughter dynamic, which is not so positive, I call it the well-meaning mother, or should I say the psychology field calls it the well-meaning mother. I call it motherless behavior, or just, mother who lacks emotional availability to her children, okay? So in that dynamic, you will see between the mother and daughter, you will see a mother who, and let me just put this disclaimer out there really quickly. None of this means that your mother does not love you, that your mother hates you. This is not to bash or assassinate or vilify mothers. This is to bring an awakening to your behind as an adult to understand there are ways to heal and transform the way that you have relationship with yourself, and the others is your mother, your family, your friends, your lover, your children, because 9 times out of 10, that relationship has affected you 10 times more than you probably are aware of. And it's affected all of your relationships and your parenting. Okay, stick with me long enough and you'll understand where I'm going with this. Okay, all right. So in the negative relationship dynamic between the mother and daughter, you'll see very judgmental comments. You'll see a mother who is negative, a mother who's not supportive, a mother who's emotionally unavailable, A mother who is very selfish and self-centered. Her needs are paramount. She lets her daughter know, verbally and in nonverbal ways, that you are to accommodate, appease me, and please me at all times. Like, you are going to over sacrifice to get your mother's approval, acceptance, validation, and all of those things. The relationship is going to be one-sided. You will also see where the mother is very domineering, very controlling, very unforgiving. She withholds affection if you do something to upset her or frustrate her, or just out the blue for no reason. She can withhold affection. All of those things are negative. All of those things break the spirit of a child, and they'll struggle and have that void within them for a mother to fill, because it was never nurtured, it was never esteemed, it was never loved unconditionally. So they will have a void within them. And how that affects you throughout childhood and to adulthood, you'll see with daughters who've had that toxic relationship exchange with their mothers, they'll have low self-esteem, they'll battle with depression, poor self-image, poor attachments. They'll be a people pleaser. They'll have unfulfilling relationship dynamics. That's intimate partner and even friendships. They'll struggle with eating disorders. Some are obese and have emotional eating challenges. And abandonment issues. Abandonment issues is a big one, because they were emotionally abandoned. And so you'll see where they will allow others to dismiss their emotions. They have trust issues because they feel like their emotional needs will not be met in relationships. So they can be very avoidant or have very anxious, avoidant attachment styles. And also, they can be codependent. You know, they love very hard, very codependent, always clinging and attaching to people. Those are just a few things that you'll see. Those are the impacts of having a relationship with negative energy between the daughter and the mother. So 3 ways to kind of snatch some of your power back in the negative mother-daughter relationship dynamic. First way is to be clear about what it is that you want and need from your mother. As an adult, you have to want and need different things. You're not a child anymore, okay? And so that relationship dynamic is going to have to be different. So if you want her to listen to you, be clear. I just want you to listen. If you want her to validate what it is that you are saying, tell her that is what you need. If you want your mother to be more supportive in some kind of way, give her clear examples of how she can be more supportive to you. The second way is to be self-sufficient and responsible. The second way to establish an adult relationship that is a healthy one, you must be self-sufficient and responsible. If your mother is helping you as an adult to pay for some of your bills, if you are always leaning on your mother for your relationship issues and drama, if you're always leaning on your mother for something, okay, besides emotional support as an adult, your mom's probably going to cross those lines and be a little too involved in your life, feel like you need to listen to her over your own decisions. It's just not a good thing to do. If your mama has to help you pay bills, or you're living with your mother when you're a full grown adult who's able-bodied, who works and can get your own place, but you're living with your mom, do not be surprised if she kind of treats you like a child every now and then, okay? All right. And the last thing you can do is set boundaries and stick to them. Don't allow anybody to guilt or shame you about your boundaries. If you don't like to be laughed at or made fun of when you're trying to express yourself, express that clearly to your mother, okay? Mom, when I express how I feel about A, B, C, I do not feel good when you laugh at me. I do not feel good about myself when you ignore me and don't hear me out. I feel like my feelings are being dismissed when I am sharing how I feel with you. Okay, so, a big part of that is you have to be clear about if your mother is emotionally safe. If your mother has shown you over the years that she will either flip something you say and make you the bad guy, or she will dismiss you or ignore your feelings and emotions, She is not emotionally safe for you to express yourself to. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. Write it down. Talk to your therapist, maybe even your pastor. Talk to Jesus about it. But be careful about pouring your heart out to somebody who you already know is emotionally unavailable. They don't have the bandwidth or capacity to esteem you, to nurture you, to even hear you out and affirm you. You will break your heart even further. Okay? So, those are the three things to kind of take your power back in the negative mother daughter relationship dynamic. One is be clear about what you want and need with your mother, or what you want and need from your mother. The second thing is be very responsible and self sufficient. The third one is set boundaries and stick to them. Okay, guys, that's the Windism. I just wanted to come and share that tonight. Thanks.